Hi everybody, it's Kara. I got my stamps and some art supplies out this past weekend and played around a bit and thought I would share with you what I was doing in case you guys were interested in trying it yourself. I pulled out one of my Unity stamp images. This is one of the Angie girls, Jacqueline. I've had her for a couple months, I think. I'm pretty sure I showed her in a haul video that I did, and she's just absolutely adorable. Love this image, so cute, those two little snowmen down there. So I decided I wanted to use this image, and I also wanted to use some of my colored pencils, specifically my some of my Inktense pencils, and they are by, I think it's Derwent. This is, let's see if I can maybe get it to show up. There we go. If it'll focus at all. Probably not. There we go. So this is the type of pencil I used for it. And what I did is I stamped the image on some watercolor paper I had. And if you have a watercolor paper that's pretty textured, you're going to want to stamp really firmly, just to make sure that you get the image to ink up really well on the paper. I typically, when I'm doing this and I am doing kind of a new technique or trying something new with some art supplies, I usually stamp a lot of the same images. As you can see, I have those two, and I actually have, you know, several more stamped up and ready to go so that I can play with them, because I usually mess up at least once. I didn't like the way the jeans were turning out on this one, so I pulled out another. And so that's why I like to have quite a few of them, and I thought I would at least show you guys just a little bit of how I did this with the pencils. Hopefully you guys can see that I was able to add at least a little bit of shading, I think, you know, in the little parts of the jacket, in the jeans in certain areas. Hopefully you can see right down there with the boots how I did that. So it's just a really cute image. I really liked it, and I was really pleased with the way these pencils work, so I thought I would just share that with you. Basically, these pencils, these Inktense pencils, are water soluble, so they will, you know, work somewhat like a watercolor. So let me show you. For example, on the kind of jacket or sweater, I used this green. It's called Beach Green, and because I wanted certain areas darker, and I'm gonna kind of zoom in so you can see a little bit better. There we go. Because I wanted certain areas darker, I colored a little bit more darkly in those areas. You know, pressed a little bit more firmly, got the shading kind of where I wanted it. And on this stamp, obviously, it's pretty easy to see some of the areas where you're probably going to want a little bit of shading, which was why this was a great one to kind of start learning how to play with these pencils and shading. And then I added a little bit more in certain areas. Again, just, you know, pressing a little darker, getting a little bit more color down. Hopefully you guys can see that. The areas where I wanted there to be some shading, kind of like what we all do when we use our Copics. Put a little bit more down there. And then I took it and I just did a very kind of light coloring. I didn't necessarily worry about getting right up to the edge. I just covered it all really lightly, like you can see me doing here. I didn't press too hard because I want that to be a lighter color there. Once I was done with that, I took a water brush. You can also just use a regular watercolor brush, or, you know, some other kind of brush, and a little bit of water. And then basically, just want to make sure it's going. Hang on one second, there we go. I'm going to start applying the water to the image and making sure that the, you know, color is filling up all the areas that I want it to. And you can see how it just kind of starts to spread out. It smooths out the color. I think it's just really a pretty technique. It gives kind of a softer look to the image. And, you know, don't get me wrong, I like my Copics, but I just really love the way this works. Obviously, it's going to react a little bit different if you weren't using watercolor paper. And I will do a little separate video kind of demo to show you how these pencils and a few others that I have react. But basically, there's the image. It was super simple. Sorry, there's the coloring on the top. Pretty simple. You can see that. Hopefully it'll focus up. There you go. I could, of course, let it dry and apply a little bit more color in the creased areas, things like that, but I just wanted to give you guys kind of a quick look at how easy it is to use these pencils. And these pencils are kind of a cheaper, more affordable option for those of you who want to color in images. Let me pull that back. But don't really want to have to, you know, have the expense of the Copics. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this and will give these a try. And like I said, I will try and do another video here pretty soon to just kind of give you an idea of the options you have with these pencils and a few others that I have been picking up because I've been playing with my art supplies a little bit more. If you guys have any questions about this, let me know. Leave them down below. I'm always happy to get back to you guys. And as always, thanks for watching, and I hope you're having a great day wherever you're at. Bye, everybody.